Welcome back to the channel, everyone, in part 2 of Silent Night. When we last left off, Superman had joined the fight against Krampus and his vampire hordes. But Krampus had already awakened his next wave of terror and released it upon Hyde Park in London on the morning of Christmas Eve. Harpies attacked anyone and everyone in sight. British military tried to fight them off, but even their air support failed to fend off this new enemy. Inside one of the cockpits, the pilot frantically screamed at one of the creatures to back away as it ripped through the windshield. And just then, the soldier got his wish, as something moving at a high rate of speed removed the monster. We find out that it is Hawkgirl, as she reaches in to rescue the pilot from certain death. Hawkgirl carries the pilot to safety, but the danger is not gone. The creatures are circling around for another attack. Hawkgirl attempts to communicate with her team, wondering where her backup is, asking, "Where are my girls?" Then, her girls show up. Green constructs appear, which the Harpies crash into. Sojourner Mullion, otherwise known as Joe, the Green Lantern, has come to Hawkgirl's aid, and she gently lowers our pilot to the ground. She then asks Hawkgirl if the Batman usually sends them in blind with no plan. Then, Hawkgirl's other backup arrives. Wonder Woman descends upon the approaching Harpies with devastating effects. The plan? Break the formation. Then, keep breaking it. The Harpies keep attacking, and Joe asks Hawkgirl to talk to them so they don't have to use lethal force. But Hawkgirl responds that she's not a bird person and she can't speak to them, but Wonder Woman can, using her lasso of truth. She finds the eldest Harpy based on the length of their plumage. She ropes it around the neck and the two communicate. The Harpy says that they were sworn to attack the walkers below. Diana tells her that they've now done that and fulfilled their promise, and it is over now, and she will find them a new area to live. Wonder Woman then demands to know who set them free, who made them swear to violence. The eldest Harpy answers, the Krampus. Wonder Woman, Joe, and Hawkgirl regroup and tell the Harpies to follow them back to their original captor, and with that, they exit the skies above London. Meanwhile, the voice of Blue Beetle thanks the others for asking him to join them. Superman, Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Miss Martian have convened at the oldest tree along the river. They needed Beetle to help identify the age of the tree, and as they discuss all of this, a portal begins to open up in the bark, and a being begins to emerge. Robin, believing it is another monster, attacks, only to be restrained by the bat, as the creature that emerges calls him a rude kinder who Claus warned him about. This is Peppermint John, one of Santa's elves, except they're actually beings known as the Hulderfolk. His race was given sanctuary from man by Claus in his hidden valley in exchange for their fine craftsmanship. John has been sent by Claus to fetch the group because another creature has been released, an ancient sea serpent. Our group of heroes are transported to the port of Aheim, Vanilus Ford, Norway. Santa is riding Prancer, ordering Gander, the sea serpent, to drop the boat it has lodged in its jaws. Nightwing remarks that they should have called Aquaman. Santa tells Prancer that they must lead the serpent away from shore. Superman leaps into action, landing a mighty blow to the creature's jaw, knocking him back. He then takes this moment to greet Santa with the look of a 6-year-old child. But Santa already knows Clark Kent, who grew up in Smallville, and who once wrote him a letter requesting a coffee maker for his mother and father. It takes Blue Beetle to tell Superman to pay attention, that Gander was back. The sea serpent bites down and swallows both Blue Beetle and the Man of Steel, but they can still hear Santa while inside the belly of the beast. Santa instructs the two heroes to use their new position to move the creature, and they do just that, lifting the serpent into the air from the inside. For Batgirl, it is the weirdest thing she's seen this week, but for Peppermint John, it is a win. No one has died. He tells the heroes that Santa is leading them back to the secret valley, and they can get there first through a new portal. And as they make their way through the portal, which opens up into Greenland, they realize that there are more than just elves in the valley. Krampus has arrived. Ringed in fire, he cries out that all will be free, all the lost souls damned by Claus. Batman calls the group into action and they rush the demigod. Krampus proves more powerful than they thought. He's able to absorb Batman's offense and Green Arrow's tranquilizer. Black Canary is able to use her canary cry to throw Krampus back, cracking the glacial wall. Still, the creature rises. He uses Miss Martian as a weapon against her friends as Green Arrow tries to restrain him from behind, but Krampus merely laughs. He smiles as he sees the approaching serpent and Claus. Everyone has come home. Superman and Beetle exit the jaws of the sea snake. Superman asks Claus if this is the enemy he's been hunting. Claus tells him yes, but to be careful, because something is different about him now. Still, the Man of Steel accelerates towards the danger. Superman is able to restrain Krampus, but the real danger is recognized by Santa. He sees that Krampus was trying to crack open the glacier, the place Claus put his captures after losing Krampus to the realm of the wild space. Inside the glacier are the last of their kind, monsters that are deadly to mortals that Claus could not bring himself to slay. But Krampus's plan is not fully revealed yet. He was waiting for Superman to arrive. Like Krampus, the Man of Steel has also been in the realm of the dead as well as the realm of the living, and this gives Krampus the ability to possess Superman and turn him against his friends. He will leave Superman on Earth to finish the conquest while remaining Krampus in the realm of the wild space. And as the rest of the League is occupied now fighting Superman, Krampus does what Krampus does best. He takes naughty children. Grabbing Robin, he heads for a newly opened portal and disappears into the ether. Meanwhile, Superman turns his attention to the cracked glacier, and with one mighty punch, he shatters it. Ice and snow cascade down all around. Now, the day of reckoning for Claus is finally here. Monster kind has been unleashed once more. Our final chapter in this Silent Night saga begins on Christmas Eve, Santa's secret valley somewhere in Greenland. The Justice League and Santa battle against ancient monsters and beasts as Batman attempts to make contact with Robin. Where is Robin? Well, he's underground, still in Greenland somewhere, at least he thinks. He's continually transmitting even though the signal is not getting through. He's being held in an iron cage, the locks resistant to any tool on his belt. Robin remarks that Krampus called this the Gnome Hall, and he thinks Krampus is hidden here before. The gnomes are no help though, they've been dead for a long time. The only thing keeping Robin alive now is Krampus's inner conflict. One part wants to kill the boy wonder, the other just wants to scare him, to teach him to be good. But the dark side to Krampus reminds him that Krampus was taken from his good life, and now there's only one path left to take: destroy everything Claus has built. Meanwhile, the Justice League continues to battle against overwhelming odds. The creatures are too strong and too big. Santa saves Green Arrow from one attack, to which Oliver Queen apologizes for always eating the cookies left on Christmas Eve. Black Canary tries her canary cry on Superman, but it does not affect him. Miss Martian tries to reason with Superman, but he merely calls for the death of Santa Claus. Claus asks Batman what went wrong with their friend. The Batman believes Superman is under some sort of possession emanating from Krampus. But don't worry, the Bat has a contingency plan. He turns to Blue Beetle and instructs him to take down the Man of Steel. It seems that whatever is possessing Superman is not aware of his heat vision or his super strength and does not use his gifts fully, which gives Blue Beetle the time to get close enough to wrap him in kryptonite radiation. Superman and Blue Beetle fall towards the ground, and the Beetle asks if he can stop before he kills Superman. Batman tells him to keep going. Superman's tough. He can take it. Besides, they need to drive whatever is controlling Superman out of his body. And the Batman tells Blue Beetle to make sure he does not let Superman touch him. The voice inside Superman's head knows they will kill their friend if necessary. The voice can feel the void approaching fast. It must find a new host quickly. It feels the fear once again. But the strategy seems to work. Not one, but two entities are seen leaving the Man of Steel's body. He was, as Blue Beetle states, double possessed. Superman hits the ground, his heart has stopped, and Blue Beetle is out of energy. He cannot perform a cardiac jumpstart. Just then, as Blue Beetle is suggesting taking him closer to the sun, one of the monsters smashes the mountainside, creating an avalanche, enveloping everyone in its path. And as the League flees for safety, the voice of Krampus is heard stating, "Yes, you are right. The boy must die." Back in the Gnome Hall, Robin tells Krampus that he disagrees with his chosen course of action, and that he can see that Krampus is possessed as well. As Damian Wayne, grandson to the Demon's Head, he's seen it before. But the Dark Soul in Krampus encourages him to use a spear, run Damian through, make him an ornament for Claus's tree. Still, Krampus is confused. Since when did Krampus use weapons? His wits were always his weapons. Clever tricks. Still, he must do what must be done, and hits the iron cage with the tip of the spear. Robin then remembers what the children did in Zatanna's storybook. They cried, they repented, they begged to go home and begged for their mother and father. And this is exactly what Damian Wayne does now. And it seems to work. Krampus stops and sees that the child is sorry. Robin promises Krampus that he'll be a good boy from now on, and then calls out for his father. On the surface, the aftermath of the avalanche is being tended to by our trio from London. Wonder Woman pulls Nightwing from certain suffocation, and Hawkgirl retrieves the bat, while Green Lantern digs out the rest. Even Superman is awake again. They ask him about the two beings that left his body. Superman tells them that they are spirits, prisoners, exiles left in the void between worlds, a place Superman calls the Phantom Zone. Superman continues to explain that every culture has a name for it, but the result is always the same. Time passes, and after a while, you lose all physical form until you cannot even remember who you are or why you are there. Santa then realizes that those beings must have used Krampus as a host and brought him when they broke free, but all they had was his memories and their rage. Batman asks Santa if Krampus can resist the last spirit possessing him. Santa is not sure. Besides, the monsters have all taken off towards Santa's workshop, but Santa cannot go protect it. He must help the Batman rescue the child, since he could never grant the one wish a young Bruce Wayne ever wished for. The Bat and Santa then take off to rescue Damian. Joined by Nightwing and Batgirl, Batman and Santa approach a tree. After all, Claus was a woodsman. When people put trees in their homes, he could hear the wishes of the children when spoken near them. All he had to do was listen. And as Santa listens to the trees, he hears Damian putting on his stalling act. He tells the group that he is in the Gnome Hall on the other side of the mountains. Back at the Gnome Hall, Krampus has changed his mind and rips open the cage holding Damian. It's time to finish him. Just then, the portal opens. Claus and the Bat family run through it, the Bat ordering all to prevent Krampus from escaping to the Phantom Zone. While under attack, Krampus threatens to drag them all with him, but Damian knows what to do. He begs Krampus to finish the game. Damian asks Krampus to give him back to his family, and Krampus again realizes that the boy is sorry. Santa, too, encourages Krampus to finish the ritual, and as they hold Krampus back, the final spirit leaves his body and is sucked back into the Phantom Zone. Krampus is finally free. However, he doesn't know where he is. He asks his old friend, "Was I lost?" Santa responds, "You were, old friend, but now you're home, where you belong." As Krampus and Santa reunite, the rest of the League have stopped the roaming horde of monsters in their tracks. Santa tells them all that although the past cannot be changed, going forward, they themselves can change for the better, and no more harm will come. And as the Bat family and Santa walk through the portal, Green Lantern has finished trapping all of the beasts with the goal of transporting them safely to a planetoid where they will all fit in perfectly. Santa wishes to thank all the members of the Justice League. He tells them that they have all lived up to the greatness he saw in them as children, then asks Krampus to join him on his yearly journey to visit some children. Krampus wonders if he can steal them, but Santa counters with the idea of leaving them some presents. Robin still wonders why Santa brings gifts to children, to which Santa cannot understand why a child of all people is questioning this annual tradition. Robin states Christmas happens without Santa either way. Why continue to do what you do? The Batman answers for Santa, because he's driven. Superman adds that it's not for the children. It's for the same reason why Clark Kent continues to be Superman. Nothing feels better than giving. Then Santa reminds Damian that he once did write a letter to Santa asking for a satellite to track his enemies. Of course, he never got one. But Santa also reminds Damian that he never actually had a real childhood and invites him to join Krampus and himself on their sleigh ride if it's all right with his father. The Batman tells Damian to go ahead. Santa's final gift to the League, access to his workshop and his home, where they can have a meal together, where no time will have passed after they've finished. As Santa, Krampus, and Damian take off, the rest of the Justice League arrives. The clock has just struck midnight. They have not missed Christmas. Our final panel is a gathering of Earth's greatest heroes spending time and sharing memories with each other in joy and celebration. For Santa, for Krampus, and for the entire Justice League, their final message, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. I hope you enjoyed this look back at the DC Comics Christmas Tales Silent Night. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought. Next week we will present another holiday tale from the pages of DC. I hope you'll join us for that. And to be sure you don't miss it, remember to subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when a new video is posted. But if you want more comic book fun right away, click on the thumbnails for my look back at LARFLEEZE, the Orange Lantern's first ever Christmas, and our Welcome to the Comicverse playlist. I thank you for watching. As always, I'm still your reluctant gringo from somewhere south of the border. Salud, a huevo, and Feliz Navidad.